You're tuned into the Fresh Ice Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Zeno Pucks. Here are your hosts, Andy and Brian Matusi.
All right, so we got to clear the air real quick before we really get this show going, Andrew. We did not post an episode last week. Unfortunately for us, we actually did record it. We had issues with the file of the recording from last week's show, and the file was corrupted. So despite Andrew's numerous attempts to upload it, it did not happen. So it wasn't a super long episode, but it would have been nice if that could have cooperated with us. We've really never had issues with the episodes themselves uploading, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. But we are here now. We are back, and we hope you've all had a great holiday. And the NHL has just passed its holiday break now, and we're really going to start turning things up as we get ready for the Olympics here in the next 6 weeks or so. But Andrew, we're back, and how you doing?
Well, a little bit salty that my file got corrupted, but other than that, not too bad.
Yeah, that's all right. That episode sucked.
Okay. It really didn't, though. It was actually...
No, yeah, it was a good episode. I thought so, too. But just one of those things. And, you know, what's even funnier is that with that file corrupted, and then earlier, and you and I were getting ready to start recording this, and I was looking at my show notes, and, like, I'm not kidding you, like 3 or 4 items I had on my list for the show are not on here. And I thankfully have since remembered one of the things that is not on the list now. So we're actually going to open with that before I forget. Linus Ullmark, Ottawa Senators goalie, he's taking a personal leave of absence from the team. So we don't know what he's going through, what he's dealing with right now, but whatever it is, hopefully he's okay and his family's okay. Just want to send our best wishes to him and his family right now in case there is anything serious going on. And then one sec, there we go. Okay. Sorry, my screen went blank for a minute, which is weird. My computer screen shouldn't be going to sleep. I've just been using it this whole time. All right. Boy, we are just having all kinds of technical issues. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes of this show. This has been long overdue, and I have to apologize first, and a lot of that's been my fault because I didn't take them seriously. But we're going to open the show with this, and we're going to talk about the Detroit Red Wings and the season that they are putting together. You follow them a little more closely than I do, Andrew, but we have 2 very good friends that's their favorite team, and boy, have I criminally underrated what this team's been capable of. Andrew, what do you think about what the Wings have been doing so far this year? You predicted them to be pretty good this year, so I would love to hear what you're thinking, what you're seeing.
I hate to say I told you so, but I'm going to
say it, man. You fucking told me. I was so sure you were wrong, and they are completely hoeing the entire division right now.
No, man, those boys are on fire right now. They've been looking good every single game. I mean, the biggest thing is they're getting contributions all over the ice. You know, everybody's playing a massive part in this team's success right now. They're getting good goaltending, which let me just say this. John Gibson undefeated in the month of December is insane. Can we just point that out? There's your number one factor right there. John Gibson's been great for them, but they're getting contributions all over the ice. They look like a completely different team than this last several seasons. This is a playoff caliber team right here, provided that they stick through it, you know, past the Olympic break, which as of right now, you know, all's good. You know, I don't want to put any hexes on them or anything, but they look great, man. And they're living up to my expectations. I knew this is what this team was capable of. And I knew it was only a matter of time before the Wings, you know, started to come back and be the Wings. And we're really seeing that this season, and I'm really liking it. They're doing a good job, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just in so many ways, I've been very pleasantly surprised. I've watched the last couple of games that they've played. And I'm just so fascinated with what they're doing. I mean, I can't believe they're this good. And again, yeah, you don't want to put any hexes on a team, but you mentioned the goaltending's been huge for them. And yeah, John Gibson in the month of December right now, he's 8-1, had that loss against Carolina the other night. But other than that, 8 wins. And for the month, he's got a .922 save percentage. He looks confident in net. It just seems like everything's clicking for him. And there has been growing pains. I mean, this season did not start the best for him. In November, he didn't win a single game in the month of November. And his save percentage has been well below 900, and it's still for the season is below 900, but he is looking way more settled in. I think he's seeing and understanding his defense core in front of him way better now than he was at the start of the year. Again, and this is from the limited highlights I've seen, but he just seems so much more comfortable now. And we saw how good he can be when he was in Anaheim. If he can really get settled in, this is going to be a dangerous team. This defense core is criminally underrated too. I thought I know it wasn't a great game against Carolina, but I still thought they held their own. Who did they just play last night? That was Toronto. I thought they were outstanding against Toronto. We're going to talk about the Leafs a little bit later too, because that's overdue.
No, it isn't.
It is, but just not for the same reason.
Yeah.
But no, they just look so dialed in. The DeBrincat and Kane had about 6,000 chances in last night's game against Toronto. I mean, they just look really like well gelled as a unit. It feels like they can roll all four of their lines, and it's just really exciting to see, to be totally honest. Well, I there's always that little bit of extra hype when it's an original six team. In my case, except Chicago, I don't care if they lose every game they play. But when you see like Montreal when they get really good, and Boston when they're really good, and Toronto before this season, like when these original six teams play well, there's a different energy that you can't replicate in any other building in the league. And I can't explain it. It's a really weird phenomenon, but seeing that Detroit building come to life last night when Edvinsson scored that beautiful overtime winner, that was something special. This Wings team is absolutely for real. And I feel like I have to be this over the top about it because I criminally underrated them at the start of this year.
But I think a lot of people did. Like, it's not like it was just you. A lot of people weren't expecting shit out of this team. And I'm like, dude, you got to look at what this team is capable of and look at the team on paper. And I know that backfires on us a lot of times when we do that with teams, looking at you, Columbus. But ultimately, I knew what this team was capable of from the start. They have a good group of guys right now. Like, this is a talented team. And so I knew it was only a matter of time before they turn on the Jets. So.
Yeah, I was talking with our friend Dan the other night, and I was asking him because he watches every second of every Wings game. He doesn't miss these games, and I just asked him, I'm like, dude, where the hell did this come from? And he's like, honestly, I don't have the message in front of me, but it was to the effect of, honestly, the group itself, as far as the skaters are concerned, the talent's always been there, but having Gibson in has just made the world of a difference.
Yeah.
I would absolutely agree with it. I will say Cam Talbot looked pretty solid in his own right last night against Toronto. I thought he had a really good game too, and I've been pretty critical of him in the past. So, I mean, good to see, even though he's not obviously going to be the starter there or anything like that, but it's good to see that he's getting a little bit of a groove. Obviously, that save percentage still needs to go way up, but you know what? He's a sub 3 goals against average. That's giving you a chance to win, I feel like, every night when he does play.
Absolutely. And I mean, your offense is going out there and putting up 3 goals a night. That's nothing to complain about.
Yeah. I mean, boy, I'm really waiting for Kane to get that. What is it? His 500th goal at it?
Yes.
Would be? Yeah. He had a ton of good chances last night. Again, I wouldn't normally rave so much about a team, but I mean, I hardly watched any of their games in their entirety to start this season. Most of what I saw from them was just in highlight packs. And, Boy, did I miss out, but I'm glad I caught on now because I'm just blown away. Sometimes you're just so wrong about something and you're like, holy fuck. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like a total idiot.
Well, I'll say this too. I think as a hockey fan, and I could be speculating here, but I know for me personally, like, you want to see Detroit doing well because this is a team that went 26 seasons in a row making the playoffs and then instantly became irrelevant for a better part of a decade.
It was a sharp fall off, especially after Zetterberg left.
Exactly. And so now they're starting to, they're showing signs of life, and now they're proving that they are a playoff contender. So this is exactly what I wanted to see out of this team this year. And like you said, Gibson took him a while to get going, took the team a minute to get going, but here we are, man. I knew what this team was capable of, and I knew it was only a matter of time. And so Red Wings fans, rejoice.
Yeah. By the way, I just got to say this too, because I don't think enough people really understand how extremely talented Moritz Seider is. I cannot believe how good this kid is.
Yeah.
He absolutely flies on the ice. I just can't, like I said, I'm just blown away with how criminally underrated I made this team Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or rated this team. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, here we are though. So,
but you know what? And again, it's not the sexy names on the roster. Like you don't think of like a Jacob Bernard Docker and be like, yeah, that's a pretty solid player, but he's a good player in his own right. Like they're not the household names, but damn, do they get the results. So good on them. And Dylan Larkin is, man, I hope he's got a big role for Team USA at the Olympics because that kid is for real too. I mean, honestly, I take him over Matthews right now, just with the way both their seasons are going. Like, obviously, they're both going to be on the team, but I'd rather like a player like Larkin be your first line center for Team USA than a player like Matthews.
I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't even care if Matthews is on the Olympic team.
I don't want to say that because with the right motivation, I mean, a mood can change everything. And when Matthews hits the ice with Team USA, it's going to be some of the sickest players in the league. I think him playing with other superstars is going to really help him. I just think he's really struggled to adapt without Marner, and the fact that they can't put another elite winger with him like that. I think it just kind of affects him. I think it affects his mentality in a Leaf sweater. But I do think in a Team USA sweater, he's a different guy. I think he can be a different guy, I should say.
Well, for Team USA's sake, I hope that is the case. Like,
yeah, look, when he's on, when he's on, fewer players in the league shoot the puck better. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So that's why I'm optimistic. But just as far as personality, maturity, and a bit, most importantly, ability to score ultimately. But I think Larkin embodies that really well, and I think he can be a good leader for this Team USA group. Yeah, this Red Wings roster, man, again, it's not the prettiest names, but they have some really good talent here and some really underrated players. And Patrick Kane, who is still just who's still scoring into his late 30s, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I love Showtime, man. Always have. Yeah. He's my favorite American player. I love the guy. And I'm probably gonna get crucified for this. I am not knocking anything he did in Chicago. That was the prime of his career, the highlight of his career. But I love this guy in Detroit.
Yeah, no, you can't. Well, obviously, you can't take away what he did in Chicago. I mean, hell, Correct. He scored a Stanley Cup winning goal. I mean, he's got some of the most clutch playoff moments in history. I mean, he's Correct. Just a really gifted player. But especially as somebody as a Minnesota fan, I'm glad he's not in Chicago anymore either, because boy, did he spend his whole career kicking the shit out of them.
Well, I'm just glad he's not in Chicago anymore because it's Chicago. I say as I'm going to a Chicago Blackhawks game in Chicago on Thursday.
You're going to see them play Dallas.
Yeah, your favorite team.
I've never wanted two teams to both be able to lose a game more in my life. Although for Chicago right now, it's not like they exactly need the help, but yeah, Dallas, man, everybody's got their boogie, man, and Dallas is another team that gets me freaking riled up. All right, let's move on here. So we just talked about how great things are going for the Red Wings. I want to shift conferences and talk about the Oilers, and specifically Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and the absolutely torrid run they are on right now. I mean, they are just kicking everybody's ass. This Oilers team looks different, and they go out and they get Jari, and you're like, okay, now they can maybe stabilize the goaltending. Okay, now he gets hurt, so now you have you bring up Connor Ingram, who I thought has actually not looked horrible. You bring him up, and you have him with Pickard now. That's the tandem, and again, Ingram's actually getting them some pretty decent numbers right now. .915 save percentage, which is leaps and bounds better than what Stuart Skinner was doing. So they're getting again serviceable goaltending despite losing Jari, but McDavid and Draisaitl just absolutely fill in the net night after night. Now it's mind-boggling. McDavid 31 points in an 11-game span, and actually he's now 32 and 12 because he had a point in his most recent game. Excuse me. But it's just unbelievable how fast the switch flips, and all of a sudden we go from like, okay, the Oilers are headed down a dark path to, okay, now this team can go right back to the Stanley Cup final. It's such a weird phenomenon that what these guys can do. This is now the third year in a row we're headed down the same path with the Oilers.
Yeah, and they're finally looking like a team that just went to the Stanley Cup final back-to-back years. Now, I will say, I think, you're getting the decent goaltending right now, but I think the large part of it is the team that's in front of the goaltending right now. And obviously Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, that goes without saying, but this team looks fierce again. Like, this is exactly what I was expecting them to look like to start the season, and they didn't. But again, now they look like a team that just went back to back into the cup final, and they look like they're ready to go again. So they're just running everybody over right now. It's insane. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how long this holds up. I don't think this is one of those fluke runs either. I think this is what this is the actual caliber of this team that we're seeing. So, and not to get off topic either, but I kind of want to say the same thing about the Panthers. I mean, they're not running everybody over right now, but given the blows that were dealt to the team to start the season, they're holding their own right now, man.
Yeah, Kachuk just started skating today too, by the way.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So, I mean, you're going to get Kachuk back too. I mean, these two teams are getting ready to look like, they belong where they are. And, kudos to Florida for holding their own, being down several guys, big names for that matter. But yeah, Edmonton is just, they look lethal, man. And it's concerning. But they look like, this is what I expected from them before the season started, is how they're playing right now. So, to say that I'm surprised, no, it was kind of just, for me, it was a matter of time. I knew if they could get their goaltending addressed, it would just be a matter of time. And while, their goaltending situation they have now isn't something I would call ideal, it's working for them, and that's just fine. But I think if you can get a healthy Jari, I think this team's unstoppable.
Well, and you know what? I'll tell you what, if Ingram keeps playing like this, you don't even need to worry about Jari. I mean, if Ingram gets his groove going here, I mean, that's what this team's needed, is that lockdown goalie. And, Skinner's had some runs the last couple of years, but if they can really get it night in and night out, I mean, we see what the offense is capable of just from two guys. And then you throw in Nugent Hopkins is still there, and Zach Hyman's there, and Bouchard's there, and, on some nights Nurse, I mean, like they have these weapons they can just throw at you shift after shift. And if you can back that up with well above league average goaltending, I mean, the Panthers might be the only team built to beat that.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, another team like, a team like Vegas probably as well. I know Colorado is obviously on a historic run right now, so you wouldn't discount them either. But I mean, that would be a great conference final, as the Oilers and the Avalanche. This Avalanche team, I mean, they're really on a run too. We'll have to really, really dive in deep with them. But
here's my concern with the Panthers and the Oilers.
Yeah.
If they go to a third Stanley Cup in a row together, the only people watching that Stanley Cup final are going to be fans of those teams. It's gonna.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, like, and I'm saying that as a fan of the Panthers. Like, that's what it's going to come down to, because it's redundant at that point. If you're not a fan of either of those teams, you're just like, Jesus, can we get something different? So, like, and I get the frustration, but I feel like that's how it's going to go. And this year's Stanley Cup final ratings were lower than last year's or the previous seasons. And I think that was largely in part because it was the same two teams again. But see, for me, just as a fan of hockey, I'm like, hell yeah, run it back 5 times in a row. I don't care. Like, but for the general population, that could pose a problem.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And I mean, hockey fans don't realize how spoiled they've been, though. Like, people that talk about ratings with the finals, we've had, like, in the last 15 years, we had Chicago, Philly, Chicago, Boston, New York, LA. Like, we had some big, like, potential ratings jars, and the game just wasn't big enough then. Like, we've had the matchups before, and that's why I don't mind seeing these weird matchups like Oilers versus the Panthers twice in a row. Even Tampa versus Colorado kind of felt weird. Like, it's kind of, I think it's nice to see some of these oddity matchups. So that's why when they say the ratings are down, I'm like, well, people just aren't passionate enough, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe I care too much. I don't know. But, like,
it's elements of both.
I'm not. Yeah, sorry, I just tripped over my words there. I'm not trying to discount the big market matchups like New York, LA. That was one of the best Stanley Cup finals ever, and it was only a 5-game series. Like, one of the greatest matchups ever. Chicago and Boston, kind of the same thing where, the crazy ending of the series. But just the series in general, it was a really well battled series, couple of really good OTs. Like the big market matchups are nice, but I just never understand why we lose so many viewers when it's a smaller market matchup.
Yeah. Well, man, I mean, part of that is a lot to do with if it's a smaller market, people aren't going to watch it. It'd be the same as the World Series if the World Series was the Brewers and shit. I don't know who's
Kansas City Royals.
I'll say Brewers and the Indians or the Guardians,
the Twins.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, like two small market teams. Obviously, your main focus point is going to be the fans of those teams because nobody else gives a rat's ass about them, and that's fine. But I mean, that's just kind of the way it works. But I mean, for Florida now, I think they're past the point of being what I would consider a small market team. I would consider them a successful franchise at this point.
Yeah. Yep. I would have to agree. And like the Panthers, that's Miami area. Like that's a pretty good sized market too. And I know they didn't draw the big crowds in the past, but again, that's a big enough viewing audience where I feel like you can call that a big market and they just choose not to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Tampa Bay is a pretty decent sports market too, if I'm not mistaken. But
dude, I've never seen that arena not sold out. I'll put it that way.
What, Tampa?
Yeah.
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 No, they draw really well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful arena too. It's one of the nicest arenas I've been to. So
yeah, I remember the first time you went there, you texted me like, "This is the best arena I've been in ever."
Yeah, well, at that point, I only been in like 2. So
I still think that's a good point. Yeah, and United Center's nothing special. I still think Ball Arena in Denver. That's probably the nicest one I've been to.
That's still on my bucket list. I can tell you right now, Tampa, TD Garden, those are, and Bridgestone Arena. Those are probably my 3 favorites that I've been to. Toronto's is nice. It's just really old and outdated on the inside, but it's still a nice arena.
Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, it doesn't do anything special. Maybe the outside of the building's kind of cool, but inside it's really nothing special. But it's still a fun arena to see a game at, though. Like it doesn't feel like a boring atmosphere. Like it just, I don't know. Visually, it's nothing special, but the experience of being there is still fun.
I've never had as much fun at a hockey game as I have in Bridgestone Arena, and I've been to multiple games there.
Yeah.
And so have you.
Yeah. Hell, we've been a couple together, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I think a large part of that with Bridgestone Arena is the actual atmosphere of a game there. It is just one of the most electric places to watch a hockey game. So I think that kind of just adds to it for me. But I'll tell you my least favorite, and this is probably going to piss some people off, and I don't care, but I was not impressed with Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
That arena, you got to go up like 8 escalators to get to the first floor. It's insane. And it's a very, like, you can see the entirety of the concourse from the inner bowl. And it's just, I'm not a fan of those open layouts. And it's just a very bland arena. Still a good place to watch a hockey game. No, not like the experience was good. It's just the arena itself I wasn't impressed by.
Yeah, I get that. What else is a pretty solid arena? Obviously my favorite, like, I think visually Ball Arena in Denver is the most, good looking arena, but the experience for me is Xcel Energy Center or Grand Casino Arena in Minnesota. That nothing quite like watching a hockey game in Minnesota. I mean, I would say, and again, it's just biased because they're my favorite team, but it's part of it's the truth of the market and physically being there. Kind of like how Canadian teams have that different aura about their games. That's kind of how it is in Minnesota too. There's not an experience like it. You can have fun at any hockey game you go to, but you can feel the religion with the sport when you're at a game in Minnesota.
You know what I just remembered? I have to backtrack. I have not been to a game there. However, I have been all the way inside of it. The nicest arena, hands down, I have ever been in is Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, and it's not even close.
Yeah, pretty nice barn.
Oh my God, dude, it's absolutely beautiful. It's unreal. I can't put it into words. It's just,
boy, this is a good episode to be a Red Wings fan.
it is. But dude, I'm telling you, That arena is drop dead gorgeous inside and out. They spared no expense there. It's like I said, I haven't been to a game there yet. It's on the agenda, and it's only 2 hours away. So I should
Didn't they get rid of the bright red seats though?
No, they're still there.
Are they still have the bright? Okay, I was gonna say when they built that, I thought that was really cool, but I feel like I remember reading something where they were gonna get rid of that.
No, you just can't see them because they're full now because the team's kicking ass.
Wow, there is that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's for me. I can't wait to go to a game there. That arena, even you could have fun and just going there and hanging out in the concourse for 2.5 hours. That's how nice that arena is.
Yeah, just Google image searched it.
Yeah,
it's a pretty barn, that's for sure. It looks really cool. That jumbotron is fucking
it's
enormous.
Nuts. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy
dude.
crap. Yeah, that's a big dog.
Yeah, I was only there once, and it was to see Queen, the band. So great concert, great venue, obviously. So
I dig it. All right. Well, boy, we kind of went a little bit off the rails there with where we were at. I think we started with the Oilers and ended up back in Red Wing land.
You know what's nice about that, though?
What's that?
It's our show, and we can do what we want. So
that's true. Yeah, that's our Christmas gift to ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. And we're going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so much in the way we've talked about teams having good seasons, we're going to do, I guess, the inverse for Toronto here, because I went into this season pretty confident in them. You know, like I was pretty certain that, they're obviously going to miss having Marner in the lineup. I mean, a guy that scores almost, 100 points a season. You're going to miss that when it's gone from your lineup. Even if you recover from it well, it's not going to be quite the same. They're just a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, hang on, let me bring the standings back up. They're dead last in the Atlantic Division, and which part of that is due to their poor play, and part of that is the Sabres are on a 8-game tear right now. But they're just... Everything that was good about the start of their season has just dried up. I mean, Tavares was scoring at probably an unsustainable pace to start the season, and so that's dialed back a lot, and so his production's dipped quite a bit. I think he's like 0.3 points per game right now, so he's the last month or in some change. So there's been some change there. Nylander, who was also on a real big heater to start the season, has kind of cooled down. Obviously, the biggest exclamation point is Austin Matthews, who is not even a point a game, which is really obviously low for him. Only 15 goals, which, again, not a bad number, but when a guy's capable of scoring almost 70, I mean, this is the point in the season where you hope he already has like 30, 35 goals. And it's just not there for him. And, they've had issues in net with the injury to Stolarz and Wool, and now Wool's back and he's playing all right. Hildeby can't stop a beach ball. But so they've had goaltending woes, but to me, outside in the Tanev injury definitely sucked too. But the biggest alarm here is Austin Matthews' production without Marner on his wing.
Yeah, and we all knew that was going to have an effect. I didn't think it was going to be this detrimental to the entire team. I honestly thought it was going to be good for the Leafs in a sense too, because look, we knew it was going to be good for Marner. That guy needed out of there. He needed out of Toronto like Michael Vick needed Johnny Cochran. Toronto, I thought, you know what, this is
Crazy
a good
reference.
Not an incorrect one though.
No, I'm sure. Continue. Oh, sure.
Yeah. But for Toronto, it's like, okay, clean slate. There was a little bit of toxicity between the team and the fans and Marner, mostly on the team and the fans end, I would argue. But it's like, okay, fresh start. Let's move forward from this. And they've done nothing but go downhill from there. And for a player at the caliber of Austin Matthews, I understand how long he's been playing with Marner. I understand the chemistry, the connection they have. But Austin Matthews is a terrific hockey player. Like you said, when he's on, forget it. So a player of that caliber needs to be able to adjust, and still perform. And he's not doing that. And are there other factors out there? Sure. Obviously, the team as a whole is just lacking horrendously right now. I get it. But my concern is when you have a player of that caliber, there's got to be something else going on there. Like, I'm starting to wonder, is he injured and we don't know it? Is he, dealing with some personal issues? Like, I feel like there's something more going on here than he's just not performing because Marner's gone. Like I said, I fully expected that to have an impact on both the team and Austin Matthews, but not to this extent. So it makes me wonder if there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And I know about all the stuff that was going on with Craig Berube. I don't think we need to get into that because I don't know enough about it. But yeah, there's some serious problems in Toronto, man, because this team should not be that
Nylander's
bad.
saying, I don't know if I've ever felt like this after a game before. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell is that saying? I mean, that's a 5-alarm fire right there. I mean, that scares the piss out of me if I'm a Leafs fan, because that sounds like a team that is at the end of the road.
Yeah, to me, there's something going on in the locker room. That's the only thing I can think of at this point. And maybe
there's more to this.
And again, I don't want to touch on too much because I don't know enough, but I'm willing to bet it's Craig Berube. That's the only thing that in my head makes sense to me.
It does seem like there's a little bit of he's lost the room, and ironically they fired Mark Savard and not Craig Berube,
which is wild.
Well, they bring him in to help with the power play. The power play is the worst in the league. I get it. They need, and a team with Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Matthew Nyes, that's a team that should be able to score power play goals. It just is. And so the fact that they're not, I get the move. It's just kind of weird to see it happen, but they bring in Steve Sullivan, and so far, I mean, they do look better on the power play in the 2 or 3 games he's been there now. But there's still layers of issues to this team. And I mean, again, maybe a boost in the power play will help get the spirits a little higher, but I don't know. There are some it does seem like there are some dark days ahead in Leafland if things really don't pick up here. Obviously they're not out of it by any means. I mean, it's still early enough in the season, but this is the point in the season where if you're going to be one of the best teams in the league, you got to turn it on right now. So we're going to find out what they are. We're going to really find out their identity in the next couple of weeks here. I think this next month of their hockey is going to determine if this franchise blows up after this offseason.
Yeah.
Or after this season, sorry.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's almost, I hate to say this, but it partially feels like it's been a long time coming in a sense.
A little bit. The problem is the pieces they do have are just so good. I mean, even though the chemistry's not there, I mean, Nylander in a vacuum, an outstanding player. Nyes, one of the probably, you could argue, the best power forward in the league. The guy is an absolute horse. Matthews, again, probably one of the most gifted shooters in the league. Like, there's just so much talent here. You just hate to, and again, they've been doing it for a decade, but you hate to want to give up on something like this. You just feel like there's got to be a right answer out there, but man, it just seems like we get closer and closer to that tipping point.
Well, and you got to factor in how much of this game is the mental aspect too. So these guys can be the best players on the planet, but if their minds are in the shitter, like if their mental health is tanked, it doesn't matter at that point. If your head's not in the game, you're not in the game. That's just how it works. And I think that's where these guys are at right now. And it's unfortunate. As much as I love to bash on the Leafs, I'm at a point where I do feel bad for them, and I feel bad for the fans, but I feel bad for the players too. But like I said, this is something that's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing. So I don't want to sit here and speculate on what that could be. Obviously, I have my opinions on what I think it is. But to me, I think Craig Berube's lost the room, and that's just where it's at right now.
Yep. And you know what? We could sit here in 2 weeks and all of a sudden the Leafs are, winners, 5 or 6 in a row, and all of a sudden everything's fine again. But it just doesn't seem like that's where this is going. So we'll see.
No,
and as I mentioned earlier, I really still do have hope for Matthews as far as things go for the Olympics, because again, a refreshed locker room with nothing but superstar players around him, I think will give him a good boost.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And honestly, I hope that's the case. I just think as far as the Leafs go, mentally, these guys are all checked out right now.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens. I would like to actually see them give Matthews some looks with Matt Boldy. Matt Boldy, I mean, I could sit here and talk about him for 3 hours, but just the way he's already been a gifted shooter. That's kind of what his thing was. He's a very gifted shooter, but in this last season here, he's become such an effective playmaker. His skating is so much more fluid. and having two gifted shooters like Matthews and Boldy on the same line, I think would be a lot of fun. So I'd love to at least see those two get a shot together, because that could be, like I said, the boost that Austin needs. Boldy's going to drive whatever line he's on more than likely. But if he gets some looks with Matthews, they could really be a dominant force.
Yeah, I think they would thrive together.
I would like Nyes, Matthews, and Boldy. That could be the Matthew line. Imagine that: Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, and Matthew Boldy. Holy shit!
Yeah,
that would be a mouthful. Matthew to Matthews,
the Matt line.
Yeah, the 3M line.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But I'm excited. Again, I'm excited to see. And by the way, I say that I'm assuming Matthew Nyes is going to be on the Olympic team. If he's not, it's a crime. It's a crime against humanity if he does not make the Olympic team. This is a really, really great young power forward.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's some good talent. You think of like the Kachuk brothers and guys like that. But I know Bill Guerin wants to go with a quote-unquote mature roster. You know, he wants not only the superstars, but he wants the guys that have been around a while. That's just how Billy is. It's how he runs things with the Wild. That's why Marcus Foligno still has a contract. It's why and again, Zuccarello's backed up his play, but it's why Matt Zuccarello keeps getting contracts, and Marcus Johansson. Billy G loves his guys, so I know he's going to want to construct that kind of roster for Team USA, but Matthew Nyes absolutely needs to be on it.
Yeah, well, Bill Guerin's no dummy, and I'm sure.
No, not at all. He's a brilliant GM,
Yeah.
but this is an easy decision to make, and I just hope he doesn't overthink it. That's all. We got to get a gold medal in hockey, and we got to beat Canada to do it. Like they took that Four Nations face-off right from under our noses this past year or last year, and it stung. So I want to get them back.
Yeah, but at the same time, the only reason I would be semi-okay with Canada taking gold is for Sid.
Yeah, but listen, and we've hinted at this, but the glazing show for Sidney Crosby that we do when he retires is going to be nuts. And if he brings home another Olympic gold medal, you're going to have to shut it down. It's going to be the only episode we do for a month.
Yeah, you're going to have to stop listening. You're just going to have to unfollow our podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest glaze fest ever, because we are really not mentioning enough how this is probably the best hockey player of all time.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm ready to watch this guy ride off into the sunset, and I want him to do it on the highest level possible if he can. So, and if that means I have to root for the Pens for his final season, then so be it. But I just, as someone who used to be in a position where I couldn't stand the guy, I love him now and have a true appreciation for just how great of a hockey player he is. And that's the other thing. I didn't want to be so bitter that I couldn't appreciate watching history be made. And I'm glad I got out of that mindset, because it's just been unreal to watch.
Yeah, I should clarify. Every Stanley Cup final I saw Sid and I was cheering against him, but I wish I could have appreciated how good it was at the time. And it's nice to at least look back and see, this guy's had a hell of a career, but I wish I could have appreciated it more instead of being such a hater early on.
Yeah, well, we live and we learn.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will probably sing that same song with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Again, we're going to look back, and we talk about, obviously, Gretzky's the great one, Ovi's the great 8, and McDavid is probably the most physically skilled hockey player as far as his mechanics and stuff. Probably the most skilled hockey player ever, but Sid, how he just encapsulates all of that skill, maturity, the history of winning. I mean, triple gold club. He's just won at every level in every fashion he can. And he's really a one-of-a-kind player in that regard. He's been good since the start of his career, where you look at Gretzky and even Ovechkin now kind of tailing off at the end of their careers. Sid has just been an absolute force since the day he entered the league, and he has not had one single bad season his entire career. It's absolutely outstanding how good he is.
Yep.
So,
well,
everybody's getting their tires pumped for Christmas except the Leafs.
Yeah. So, that's sad, but there is a team whose tires we're not going to pump, but that's
coming later.
Yeah, but I do feel like we're probably overdue to hear from Zeno Pucks.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll take a quick break. This is the Fresh Ice Hockey Podcast.
It's hockey season, and you're looking to work on your stick handling or maybe even your shot, but ice time just isn't an option for you right now. Luckily, our buddies over at Xenopucks have got you covered. They've developed an elite off-ice practice puck that, in addition to looking like the real thing, is the same size and weight as a regulation hockey puck to give you that authentic feel on the end of your stick. It works better than other off-ice practice pucks on almost any surface, whether you use it on hardwood, carpet, concrete, or even asphalt. Xenopucks glide like a real puck on ice. So if you're looking to improve your game without setting foot on the ice, head over to www.xenopucks.com and get yourself a puck. Check out their merch selection and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Xenopucks.
We are back. So before we get into our Blue Jackets corner, which will be our final segment of this show, real quick, want to shout out JJ Moser in Tampa Bay signing a 8-year, $6.75 million per year contract with the Bolts. Great deal for the player and a team. Again, with the cap going up so much, this is a really good deal for Tampa Bay, and Moser again locks up generational wealth on one contract, and he's only 25. 12 points in 36 games this year has been pretty effective for Tampa Bay, and we don't talk about the stat much because generally I don't attribute much to it, but a plus minus of 25 is really good, regardless of how you look at it. So good, again, a good deal for the player and a team that is really starting to look lethal again. Tampa Bay locks up one of its defensive core, so gotta like that.
Yeah, no, you took the words right out of my mouth. Locks up that defensive core right there. That's the key, especially for Tampa Bay. I am sorry, I did not mean to do that into the mic. But especially for Tampa Bay right now, a team that's, I don't know how to put this, because there are games I watch them and I'm like, holy shit, I don't want to mess with Tampa. But then there are games where I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about Tampa. So, and then they split that most recent series with Florida. So I'm just kind of like, Tampa's kind of so-so to me right now. But I don't want to dog on Tampa because they don't deserve it. But
it's weird how I in my mind go into this season thinking we're really starting to see the early signs of the foundation cracking in Tampa Bay, but it's just not the case. And we'll talk about the forwards in a sec, but like even a guy like Darren Radish, who you think is nothing special, now all of a sudden here he comes out of the woodwork, 27 points in 32 games. Like, where the hell is that? Right. All these years. And, they already have the like a guy like Chernak, who's been around that team now for, half a decade plus. Victor Hedman obviously is still one of the most elite defensemen in the league. McDonough, they were able to get him back in the offseason, and he fits in really well there. 8 points in 18 games for him. But he's a guy that fits in that system well, was obviously spent some time with them before. But that core by itself, again, with a goalie like Vasilevsky, that's good enough to win a championship. So not a team you can sleep on. But then again, you look at the forward group and you're like, holy crap! You think of guys like Point and Cirelli and obviously Kucherov and Gensel, and Kucherov and Gensel specifically because they're both such good playoff weapons too. I mean, Gensel is one of the most prolific playoff goal scorers of this generation. Him, and you think of a guy like Rantanen too. But there's just so much talent up and down this lineup, and it's crazy to, again, kind of like how I was way off with the Red Wings. Even here, it's just like, I can't believe I really thought these guys were done.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to say I thought they were done. I just thought I thought it was on the decline. I didn't think they were done. I feel like that's a stretch. Maybe for me.
And maybe, it was probably a bit of an exaggeration on my end. But again, I didn't feel like they were that same powerhouse that they had been for the last, 6 years.
Well, no, and they weren't, but I didn't think it was the end of the road for them. Like, there's still gas left in the tank. No question.
Clearly. Yeah, very clearly there is.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think as long as you got John Cooper at the helm, you're just fine. Like, I as much as I can't stand Tampa, I do like John Cooper. He's one of the best coaches ever, and maybe some people disagree with that, but I don't see how you can, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's move on here. Let's get to the Jackets, and thankfully there's something good to talk about before we close the show. So let me Bring them up. There we go. So the Jackets made a trade, and it's one we kind of saw in the woodwork through the woodwork because
he's been vocal about it.
Yeah, he requests a trade. It's kind of hard to avoid that subject. But yeah, Yegor Chinakov is now on his way to the Pittsburgh Penguins. In return, the Jackets acquire forward Danton Heinen and 2 draft picks. And I don't have the picks in front of me because I forgot to look that up before we started. But they get, look, it's a guy that wanted out of town. Okay, what are the picks?
So Columbus will receive Danton Heinen, a 2026 second round pick, and a 2027 third round pick.
Okay, so pretty good compensation. And what I was going to get into is that this is a player that wanted out, and you're able to not only get 2 draft picks for him and 2 pretty decent draft picks for him. You get a serviceable NHL player. Danton Heinen is not a slouch of a player.
No, he's not.
You can play him in a middle 6 role, bottom 6 role, whatever works for you. But that's a guy who can be effective. I mean, when he spent some time with Boston and definitely was a good fit in their organization for a while. So this is no slouch. And I'm not saying this is like a season saving move or something, but
no.
He's
again, a productive player.
Yeah, it's just there's something good that comes out of this trade is that you get a really good player back for a guy that didn't want to be there, and you get draft picks for future, for future capital. So I like the move. Don Waddell did a good job on this one. Ultimately, these guys will always say that they want to do what's in the best interest of the player, and in this case, I think he did. He gets him out. It doesn't mind that he sends him to a divisional rival. Like, just try and accommodate the player the best you can, and it worked. And for the Jackets, they get 3 assets out of that. And I think I take that as a win. And, it kind of helps that Pittsburgh's GM is Kyle Dubas. So it's easy to pull the, pull the wool over his eyes. But
by the way, have you seen the video comparing Kyle Dubas to the mayor of Pittsburgh?
No,
they are like identical twins. It's just that Kyle Dubas is like 3 feet taller than the mayor, but their faces are identical. And it was the mayor of Pittsburgh and Kyle Dubas that recorded the video.
Let's see.
It's pretty good.
Oh my God, he does look like him.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, Corey O'Connor. Holy crap, they do look alike. That's crazy.
Dude.
That's funny as hell. You got same glasses and everything.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's funny. I like that. But yeah, I mean, again, the fact that Kyle Dubas was the other GM is probably the reason that they got this many assets back. I mean, Kyle Dubas gets atomic wedgied in almost every trade he makes. And it's just the truth. I mean, every time he makes a trade, he almost always comes out of it looking like a total ass. So.
Yeah. Atomic wedgied. Oh man.
But for Don Waddell, again, you accommodate the player the best you can, and you get 3 assets back for your own team, and things are still so far from perfect in Columbus. They are. But are you still laughing at that?
Bro, I'm just picturing this guy hanging from a flagpole by his underwear.
Yeah, it probably happened. All right, no, that's not nice. That's not nice. We don't do that.
No.
But yeah, things are far from perfect in Columbus, and it's just nice to have a little bit of good news. They have won 2 games in a row. Ironically, I didn't watch either, so maybe I'm the problem.
It's all right.
But yeah, things. Again, it's that we've said it the last couple of shows. Well, maybe not last week's because we couldn't upload that, but because it's still early enough in the season, like it's not over. It isn't over. They just got to go on a tear, but it's so hard to see. It's so hard to see the path back at this point when you consider Carolina's probably walking away with the division. The Islanders have been so much better than I think anybody could have predicted. I mean, they've just been so good. Philly has really, really kind of been a surprise this year. Washington is staying in the fight. The Devils are kind of a mess even now that Jack Hughes is back, which is glad he's back, but they're still losers of 3 in a row right now.
Right.
But they're a team that you expect to pick up the pace. So like, it's just difficult to see the way they get back in this, even though it's early enough. And I think that they can. I think they're a capable group, but there's just such a mountain to climb here. You really wonder if it might already be too late.
Yeah, I don't. For this year, I say yeah. I mean, anything can happen. I know that, but I think this year is just kind of a wash.
And it's crazy. I mean, look, there's just so many good teams in the conference right now. Well, I kind of use that term loosely, but like again, Carolina, New York, and probably Philly, it looks like, are going to fill out the top 3 in the Metro. But look at all the competition in the Atlantic too, which will eat up wild card spots like crazy. Detroit, Tampa, Montreal, the Panthers. Like, Panthers are going to get Kachuk back soon, and they're already in this still, and now they're going to get probably their best scorer back, and him and Sam Reinhart.
Dude, if they get Barkov back for the playoffs, they're set.
There's so much competition. If this winning streak that the Sabres are on, if this becomes anything like super serious, and I know 8 wins is obviously serious, but it's the Sabres, so I'm waiting to see how far they can take this run. But if this turns into a serious push from the Sabres, that's another team that could eat up a playoff spot. The Senators are still right in the mix. Boston, who's dropped 5 in a row. Holy crap, where do they go?
Yeah.
But again, that's another team that's capable of turning it right back on. There's just so much competition here and just not enough playoff spaces, and that's why I'm kind of like, unless this 2-game win streak the Jackets are on turns into like a 9-game heater, I think we're gonna run out of runway pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I'm right on board with you. It's and look, nobody expected to have the Islanders to have the season they're having right now. Like, at least I know I didn't.
I mean, even the most optimistic Islanders fan was thinking, wild card, maybe maybe a 3rd division spot with a really good year. But like, they're not far behind the Hurricanes, although the Canes do have games in hand. But I don't think anybody could have predicted Schaefer coming in and taking over the league like this.
No, yeah, I'm with you. 100%.
He's playing extremely well. And again, I mentioned maturity earlier too, as a big contributing factor. This kid looks like he's been playing for 10 years already. He's just so dialed in with this game. It's so effortless for him. I think we're having one of those kind of Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes caliber players coming into the league. Yeah,
I agree. And I mean, for his sake, I hope it stays that way. I hope he thrives. Not that I'm an Islanders fan, but I hope he thrives. So,
yep. All right. So I think we'll call it there for this episode. I just want one last thing on the Jackets. I do hope this, again, they're on a 2-game win streak. I hope this could be the start of maybe one of the greatest regular season comebacks ever. We'll see what happens. But other than that, I think that'll do it for us this week. We have we have the Winter Classic happening before our next episode. How exciting!
Yep, the indoor Winter Classic.
Yeah, Panthers and the Rangers.
I'll still watch it.
Yeah, of course you'll watch it. Should still be fun. You and I will both be in Wisconsin too.
We will.
So, all right. Well, yeah, we'll have to watch that together, I guess, then, since we're going there for the same reason.
Well, you're going on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Because I'll be in Chicago Thursday.
Oh, but the Winter Classic's on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Because they do it on the 2nd now instead of New Year's Day. I thought that was kind of the allure with the Winter Classic, was that it was supposed to be New Year's Day. So,
yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. I'm a dumbass then. But, yeah, we'll have to make it work. One thing I have left to say before we go. 2 things. One, Don, friend of the show, avid listener, writes in a lot. I would have done it yesterday had we recorded yesterday, but his birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday, Don. I hope it was a good one, man. Hope you and the family had a good Christmas as well. And to our buddy Angel, who also listens to the show, his birthday is coming up. So with that being said, happy birthday to Angel as well.
All right. I dig it. We will be back probably next Monday with an episode because I don't think either of us will be home till late Sunday. Yeah. So we'll be back probably next Monday, and we'll break down all the excitement of the games coming up this week. And of course the indoor Winter Classic, which is still weird. We'll talk to you guys then. Take care.